Hello, good morning. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here, the series we're running for the month of June, which is 30 bands that had a member that went on to be in a bigger band or a more commercially successful band, depending on how you want to look at it. The artist we're going to choose for today started out in the Yardbirds, of all places. So the Yardbirds, who were a band that formed in the early 1960s with Eric Clapton being their main guitar player, had some success. They had a fair bit of success. In fact, more success than a lot of bands had. Later, Clapton was replaced by Beck, who then had Jimmy Page join them. Now, Jimmy Page is the artist we're talking about today, and he went on to form this band, Led Zeppelin, a band that initially was just going to be another super band, I guess, but I don't really count this band as a super band. Yes, Jimmy Page was in the Yardbirds, and that's a big band, and Robert Plant, John Bonham played in another big band too. I don't know if I count. I've never really thought of Led Zeppelin as a super band. But anyways, they had, I believe, is it 8 or 9? I think it might even be 10 studio albums. All of them great except for maybe the last one, which was kind of a throw together. But to me, this guy is one of the great guitar players of all time. Maybe not as great as people would say he is. I think he might be a little bit overrated. But he did form a band that I don't think is overrated. This band, to me, is probably the best band of all time. And I know I'm going to take some hits. I have in the past for putting them ahead of the Beatles. I just think they're a bigger band. I think I'm a little biased here because I grew up in the 70s when Led Zeppelin was all the rage, was the big band of the 70s. I did not grow up in the 60s. Maybe if I grew up in the 60s listening to music, well, I was born in the 60s, but if I'd grown up listening to music in the 60s, maybe I would have a totally different opinion of this. But for today, the artist we're talking about is the Yardbirds, Jimmy Page, going on to form Led Zeppelin in the late 1960s, 69 to be specific, and actually on this album. So that's my pick. That's my pick for today. Jimmy Page, great guitar player, great musical producer as well. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. And if you want to make comments about Jimmy Page or about the band Led Zeppelin or the Yardbirds, or maybe you want to talk about Jeff Beck going on to Cream, you can do that, but I already did that, so I'm not going to do that again. Or if you want to talk about Jeff Beck, forming the own Jeff Beck group, who also were great as well, you can do that as well, or whatever you want to talk about. Anyways, have yourself a good day, a good evening, and goodbye.